Hello friends. What if your zodiac sign was a career cheat code, not destiny, but a blueprint you can actually use? Today, we're decoding the strengths, blind spots, and power moves for every sign so you can stop guessing and start growing. Wondering where you'll thrive, lead, or pivot? Let's answer that, sign by sign. Aries, March 21st to April 19th. Are you built for the sprint or the marathon? Aries, you're the starter pistol and the first runner out of the blocks. You carry within you the unstoppable force of raw energy, the kind that doesn't wait for permission, that doesn't hesitate to leap into the unknown. Your career potential thrives in environments where speed matters, where quick decisions turn into quick wins, and where leadership isn't granted but seized. Courage, speed, and appetite for risk aren't just personality traits, they're the foundation of your professional identity. You're at your best when you're challenged, when stakes are high, and when others are too afraid to move forward. Think about what happens in a boardroom full of indecision. People weighing pros and cons, second-guessing every step. That's where Aries cuts through the fog. You don't just talk about innovation, you embody it by taking that first leap. Startups are perfect for you because they thrive on risk and reward, on someone willing to burn the midnight oil, test unproven ideas, and rally others around a vision. In sales, your natural competitiveness shines. Every closed deal feels like crossing the finish line, every no is just fuel for your next attempt. In product launches, you're the spark that ignites momentum, the voice that says, let's stop planning and start building. But your fire also finds a home in roles beyond the corporate. Emergency response teams rely on split-second choices. Your adrenaline is an asset. Sports demand that relentless drive to win. You already have it coursing through your veins. The military respects courage, discipline, and action, qualities Aries carries naturally. High-stakes environments that make others nervous? That's where you find your rhythm. Yet, here lies the trap, impatience. You're brilliant at the start, addicted to beginnings, but sometimes restless when maintenance or follow-through becomes necessary. The first few weeks of a project excite you, but the slow grind afterward can leave you looking for the next thrill. That boredom can sabotage your long-term growth if you're not careful. To counter this, create artificial finish lines. Break big goals into sprints. Celebrate milestones. Reward yourself for the small wins as much as the big ones, and suddenly, the marathon feels like a series of exhilarating short races. Delegation is another key. You don't need to babysit every detail once the foundation is laid. Hand over the maintenance tasks to those who thrive on stability while you move toward the next challenge. Roles in business development, innovation teams, and rapid growth sectors keep you motivated because they offer continuous challenges. And when it comes to leadership, don't wait to be chosen, volunteer. Step up when others step back. Take point on messy, undefined projects no one else dares to touch. Not only will you sharpen your leadership skills, but you'll also prove to others that boldness isn't recklessness, it's vision backed by action. Remember, fortune favors the bold isn't just a saying, it's a career compass for Aries. When you embrace this energy strategically, promotions and recognition don't just follow, they chase you. The lesson? Aries succeeds when you align your passion for beginnings with systems that sustain your victories. You're not just a sprinter. With the right mindset, you're the one who sets the pace for the entire race and still crosses the finish line first. Taurus, April 20th to May 20th. How do you turn steady into legendary? Taurus, your career potential is defined not by bursts of energy, but by a kind of patient strength that others underestimate until they see the results. Your superpower is consistency fused with impeccable taste. Where others get distracted, you keep building, brick by brick, creating something that lasts. You don't chase shortcuts. You cultivate real value, whether in money, design, or reputation. That grounded patience is why so many Taurians become trusted experts, reliable leaders, and masters of their craft. Finance and accounting suit you not just because of the numbers, but because you respect structure and know how to make wealth grow. Real estate works for you because you see property not as walls and land, but as security, legacy, and comfort. In operations, you're the quiet force who ensures chaos never wins. You streamline, optimize, and create stability where others only see problems. But your talents don't stop at practicality. Taurus is ruled by Venus, planet of beauty and pleasure, which gifts you with an appreciation for aesthetics. Design, hospitality, and culinary arts feel natural to you because you understand how quality elevates experiences. You don't just cook, you create meals people remember. You don't just decorate a room, you design a sanctuary. In industries where taste and reliability meet, you stand out as someone who blends functionality with refinement. The challenge? Change. You're loyal not only to people, but also to routines. Once you find a comfortable path, you might stay there too long, even when it no longer challenges you, pays you fairly, or excites you. Comfort zones can feel like safety, but for Taurus, they risk turning into cages. The world around you evolves, and resisting that evolution could mean missing out on greater opportunities. The solution lies in controlled upgrades. You don't have to flip your world upside down, just introduce gradual innovation. Try one new tool every quarter. Take on one stretch project every 6 months. Experiment in small ways that don't threaten your stability but keep your growth alive. That way, you remain grounded while also proving to yourself that change can bring even more security and satisfaction. Money is another strong suit. Your mindset toward wealth is pragmatic, not reckless. You're the negotiator who stays calm under pressure, the one who walks away when the deal doesn't serve your value. Document your wins, track your progress, and let the numbers speak louder than your words. People respect Taurus professionals not because they shout about their success, but because their track record proves it beyond doubt. And perhaps the most important Taurus lesson: you don't need drama, you need a portfolio. Flash fades, but assets, skills, and credibility compound like interest. When you stay disciplined, slow and steady doesn't just win the race, it builds an empire. Others may sprint ahead for a while, but you're the one who owns the finish line, because everything you create has staying power. In your career, legendary status comes not from chasing every shiny opportunity, but from consistently showing up, raising the bar, and refusing to compromise on quality. That's how steady becomes unstoppable. Gemini, May 21st to June 20th. Can curiosity be a career? For you, yes. Gemini is the restless mind, the constant questioner, the storyteller who thrives in the in-between spaces where words, ideas, and connections collide. Your career potential isn't about choosing one lane, it's about weaving lanes together. You're built for movement, movement of thought, movement of dialogue, movement of innovation. In a world that rewards adaptability, Gemini is the sign that doesn't just survive, it sets the pace. Media and marketing are natural homes because you're wired for communication. You can sell an idea, narrate a vision, and package complexity into something people actually understand. Journalism fits because you chase stories, connect dots, and aren't afraid to dig into multiple perspectives. Public relations and community building suit you because you can read a room, translate messages between groups, and keep conversations alive. You're the voice that keeps networks connected. UX writing, data storytelling, and teaching all call on your ability to bridge people and information, turning abstract into practical, turning confusion into clarity. But there's a catch: your mind moves faster than most, which can create the infamous Gemini problem, shiny object syndrome. You start projects with enthusiasm, but your curiosity pulls you toward the next idea before you've tied up the last one. That's why half-finished drafts, abandoned side hustles, and neglected notebooks may pile up. Your career growth demands not just curiosity but completion. How do you solve this? By building systems that respect your variety instead of fighting it. Short sprints keep momentum high. Set deadlines that match your natural attention span, and then reset with new challenges. Paired accountability ensures someone else nudges you toward completion, because you'd rather let yourself down than someone you respect. And above all, embrace the motto: done is better than perfect. Your brilliance doesn't need to be polished endlessly, it needs to be shipped. Once your work is out in the world, you can always refine it later. Another Gemini strength is social intelligence. You can walk into a room and intuitively know how to connect with different personalities. That's leverage in a career. Don't just network, build platforms where conversations thrive. Host panels that gather voices across industries. Run newsletters that curate the insights you're already consuming. Pitch collaborations between departments that never talk but should. Your voice is currency, and unlike money, it multiplies the more you spend it. Gemini doesn't succeed by narrowing into a single niche but by orchestrating multiple roles into harmony. You might never be the person who locks into one job for 40 years, and that's a feature, not a flaw. Instead, you become the bridge, the one who translates engineers to marketers, executives to employees, visionaries to funders. You're the conversation that sparks innovation, the connection that others didn't see until you created it. At your highest potential, Gemini isn't scattered, it's symphonic. You juggle projects not out of indecision, but out of design. Your curiosity becomes momentum, your words become architecture, and your career becomes proof that exploration itself can be a calling. Cancer, June 21st to July 22nd, are care and profit compatible? With you, absolutely. Cancer carries a career gift that few others can match, the ability to nurture without losing sight of results. Your work isn't just about tasks or paychecks, it's about people, safety, and long-term growth. You sense needs before they're spoken, protect teams when they feel vulnerable, and create environments where others can thrive. In a corporate world obsessed with numbers, you bring the missing piece, humanity. That's why so many Cancers find fulfillment in healthcare, therapy, or counseling. Healing isn't just a profession for you, it's an instinct. You carry the ability to listen deeply, to offer comfort, and to guide people through their challenges with patience. In HR, you're the protector of culture, the one who ensures people aren't just hired but supported, not just employed but understood. In education, you extend your natural role as the patient guide who turns potential into confidence. Hospitality leadership taps into your gift for creating spaces where people feel at home, cared for, and respected. Customer success and nonprofit work also resonate because they allow you to use empathy in practical ways, turning compassion into measurable outcomes. Even real estate plays to your energy, because what you're selling isn't just houses, it's homes, sanctuaries, places where families can grow. And in culinary careers, you feed not just bodies but spirits. The Cancer signature is always the same, turning care into impact. The challenge lies in emotional overload. Because you give so freely, boundaries can blur. You might carry other people's stress as if it were your own, or say yes to tasks that drain you simply because you don't want to let anyone down. Over time, this emotional labor piles up unseen, leaving you exhausted without anyone realizing how much you've carried. The solution is intentional boundaries. Schedule recovery hours just as you'd schedule meetings. Protect your time for recharging, whether that's solitude, creative hobbies, or simply silence. Delegate emotional tasks when possible. You don't have to be the sole counselor in every workplace conflict. And most importantly, track the impact of your contributions. Your invisible work, listening, supporting, smoothing tensions, needs to become visible. Document outcomes, measure satisfaction, and share results. That's how you turn emotional effort into recognized value. Leadership for Cancer is protective, not domineering. You're the manager who raises performance by making people feel safe enough to take risks. You're the executive who builds loyalty by showing genuine care. When people know you have their back, they'll push harder, dream bigger, and give more. Your leadership style proves that compassion isn't soft, it's strategic. Your workplace superpower is anticipation. You notice when someone is burning out before they collapse. You sense when a deal needs reassurance, when a team needs encouragement, when a client needs a personal touch. This intuition is more than kindness, it's a competitive edge. It turns you into the person clients return to, employees stay loyal to, and organizations can't function without. At your highest expression, Cancer doesn't just balance care and profit, it fuses them. You show that business isn't sustainable without empathy, that growth isn't real without people, and that true leadership is about lifting others, not stepping on them. Your career path proves that emotional intelligence isn't just valuable, it's the future of work. Leo, July 23rd to August 22nd. Is the spotlight a luxury or a tool? For you, it's a lever. Leo shines in roles with visibility and creative ownership, entertainment, content creation, brand leadership, sales leadership, creative direction, event production, and executive presence roles. Your gift isn't just being seen, it's knowing how to turn attention into action. You understand that visibility can rally teams, attract opportunities, and move markets when it's backed by substance. You're the person who can walk into a room and elevate the energy, frame a vision in a way people feel in their bones, and then carry the room with you to the finish line. In entertainment and content creation, that looks like on-camera charisma paired with editorial discipline. The ability to hold an audience for 10 minutes while delivering a clear narrative arc that drives to a call to action. In brand leadership, it's your instinct for story and symbol, knowing how a color palette, a tagline, and a founder's voice can sync to form a movement, not just a marketing campaign. In sales leadership, you transform quota into a rallying cry and objections into rehearsed counters that feel conversational and honest. In creative direction and event production, you see the entire stage, lighting, pacing, audience journey, and the emotional beats that make people remember the experience long after they leave. And in executive presence roles, you wield calm confidence, prepared remarks, and data-backed conviction to make stakeholders feel they've chosen the right captain. Watch-outs, ego traps, and waiting to be discovered. The most dangerous myth for Leo is that talent alone guarantees success. Ego traps show up as credit hoarding, defensiveness when challenged, or mistaking applause for progress. Waiting to be discovered looks like sitting on a great idea because you expect someone else to recognize your brilliance. Don't hand your career to luck. Counter with metrics. Own results publicly, not just credit. Put outcomes on the scoreboard where everyone can see them. View through rates on your videos, conversion lift after your brand refresh, ticket sales growth after your event redesign, win rates and sales cycle compression after your training program. When you lead with the numbers, your charisma becomes credible. Build a highlight reel, literally. Curate your best moments with context. Before and after snapshots of campaigns, clips of talks where you overcame tough QA, screenshots of analytics that tell a story of improvement. Update it quarterly so it tells a consistent narrative. Not, I'm impressive, but I deliver outcomes. Lead with generosity by mentoring juniors and celebrating other people's wins. Counterintuitive? It's your secret engine. When you spotlight other people's contributions, naming them in all hands, quoting their insights, crediting their hustle, you create a culture that reflects well on you and compounds your influence. You become a magnet for talent because ambitious people want to work where they'll be seen and nurtured. Your calendar becomes a flywheel. 15-minute office hours that unlock someone's roadblock, quick looms with feedback that actually teaches the craft, notes of praise dropped into group chats with specific behaviors you want repeated. This isn't performative kindness, it's operational leadership. The more you invest in the room, the brighter the room makes you. That earns loyalty and keeps your star bright. Your career accelerates when your charisma solves real problems, not just draws attention. Charisma without delivery is theater. Charisma with delivery is leadership. Ask yourself in every big moment, what friction am I removing? What decision am I clarifying? What risk am I taking on so others can move faster? Bring receipts. If you pitch a rebrand, show the research that informed your creative choices. If you propose a live event strategy, present a PL model with scenarios. If you advocate for a content series, outline the editorial calendar, cross-channel distribution, and measurement plan. Turn applause into action by assigning owners and deadlines on the spot. The spotlight is not the destination, it's the amplifier for a well-run plan. How do you stay grounded while staying bold? Practice the art of rehearsal. Great Leos don't wing it, they prepare. Media training for tough interviews. Mock pitches with hostile questions so your calm is tested before the real deal. Run-of-show documents for events with contingency plans and backup talent. A personal weekly review where you track 3 things: influence you gave, outcomes you achieved, and skills you developed. Rehearsal doesn't dim your shine, it lets you shine on command. What does ego trap detection look like in real time? Notice when you feel the urge to jump in and correct someone publicly. Ask if it serves the result or your pride. Notice when feedback stings. Say, "Tell me more," and take notes. Notice when you want to keep center stage. Try handing the mic to a teammate and frame them as the expert. Paradoxically, the more you share the stage, the more the stage grows around you. Your reputation shifts from the star to the star who builds stars. Visibility isn't just external. Executive presence shows up when you lead in rooms the public never sees. Write memos that make decisions easier, not just prettier. Coach teams to speak in the language of outcomes. Set a tone that blends optimism with rigor. We can win this, and here's the plan with risks and mitigations. Don't over-index on vibe at the cost of viability. Pair sizzle with systems. When you do, boards listen, clients renew, and teams sprint. Remember the core equation: attention multiplied by trust equals impact. You already generate attention. Build trust by being consistent, transparent, and accountable. Share your process. Admit misses quickly and frame what you learned. Publish postmortems that are generous, specific, and actionable. People forgive mistakes, they reward integrity. That's how you turn moments into momentum and momentum into a legacy. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. Perfection or progress? Virgo, you can deliver both. When you define, done. You excel in analysis, editing, research, quality control, operations, healthcare, data, product management, and any craft that rewards precision. Your genius is not loud, it's reliable. You turn chaos into checklists, ambiguity into specifications, and good ideas into robust systems that work on bad days. Where others handwave, you measure. Where others guess, you test. Where others rush, you refine. Your career potential expands wherever detail is destiny. In editorial rooms where you sharpen voice and structure. In labs where protocols mean breakthroughs. In hospitals where accuracy saves lives. In product teams where a clear PRD prevents months of rework. In data roles where clean pipelines make insights possible. In operations where a well-written SOP frees a whole team to move faster. Risk, analysis paralysis and overfunctioning for others. Your standards are high, and that's a superpower until it stalls shipping or tempts you to carry work that isn't yours. Analysis paralysis hides inside endless, just one more pass loops. Overfunctioning shows up when you rewrite someone else's work instead of coaching them, when you become the unofficial QA for the entire company, when your calendar fills with favors that drain your core role. The antidote is structure. Build guardrails, clear specs, versioning, and ship dates. Specs keep scope honest. What are we building, for whom, and what does success look like? Versioning frees you from perfection by promising improvement later. V1 is for validation, V2 is for polish, V3 is for scale. Ship dates create healthy pressure, no more infinite polishing. The calendar calls the shot. Automate repetitive tasks and keep a show your work archive so your invisible polish is recognized. Your magic often hides in the seams. The naming conventions you standardized, the checklists that caught failure before it happened, the templates that saved hours. Document them. A shared drive with SOPs, QA checklists, PRD templates, and postmortem formats turns your personal excellence into organizational capability. Automation is your leverage. Scripts that clean data, rules that flag anomalies, dashboards that surface what matters, macros that kill mindless tasks. Every minute you save yourself is a minute you can spend on higher order thinking. Define done in concrete terms. Acceptance criteria remove arguments. A story isn't done when it feels good. It's done when it meets specified requirements under edge cases you've already anticipated. A design isn't done when it's pretty. It's done when it passes accessibility checks, performance thresholds, and usability goals. A report isn't done when it's long. It's done when the decision maker can act within 5 minutes of reading it. This is how perfection and progress coexist. You choose the right constraints up front and honor them. You don't just fix errors, you design systems that prevent them. That's executive energy wrapped in spreadsheets. Think error budgets that force trade-offs, test suites that run on every commit, checklists that live at the point of action, not in forgotten wikis. Think escalation paths that reduce decision latency, dashboards that tell you where to look, and runbooks that mean anyone on call can handle 80% of incidents without guesswork. Prevention is cheaper than heroics. Your career rises when you make prevention visible and measurable. Guard your time from the rescue reflex. It feels noble to be the person who always cleans up, but hero work hides systemic issues. Instead of silently fixing, annotate the fix and coach the owner. Turn one-off rescues into reusable patterns. Replace "I'll do it" with "here's the template, I'll review your first pass." You'll create capacity, not dependency, and you'll be seen not just as a doer but as an organizational architect. Build a relationship with "good enough" that honors your standards without sacrificing velocity. Set quality tiers. What must be flawless now? What can be iterative? What can be rough to validate demand? Use time boxes. If a task exceeds the time box, surface the trade-off and decide with stakeholders, not in silence. Progress becomes your metric. Perfection becomes your signature where it matters most. Communication is part of your craft. Translate detail into decision. Your memos should make it easy for busy people to choose context, options, risks, recommendation. Your comments should teach, not just correct. Name the principle, not only the problem. Your presence in a room should lower anxiety because you bring clarity. You make meetings shorter by arriving with artifacts. A crisp brief, a draft that's 80% there, a checklist that makes next steps obvious. That's how you build trust and budget for precision. Career-wise, your path compounds. You start as the person who gets things right. You grow into the person who gets the right things done. From editor to managing editor. From analyst to product manager. From nurse to care operations lead. From QA to reliability engineering. The common thread is stewardship, of quality, of process, of outcomes. You become the steward leaders rely on when the stakes are high, when the margin for error is zero, when the plan must work the first time. Your calm excellence doesn't have to be quiet. Advocate for your impact with artifacts and outcomes. Track defect rates before and after your process, time saved by your automation, revenue preserved by your checks, employee ramp speed due to your SOPs. Share wins without grandstanding. Here's the change, here's the effect, here's what we'll improve next. You'll model a culture where rigor is cool and progress is celebrated. If Leo's magic is making the room brighter, yours is making the room work. You remove friction, reduce rework, and raise the floor so everyone's ceiling gets higher. In a noisy world, your precision is a relief. In a fast world, your systems are a compass. Define, done, ship on time, and keep refining the machine. That's how your meticulous streak turns into momentum, and your momentum into mastery. Libra, September 23rd to October 22nd. Can charm be a strategy? With you, it's a business model. Libra thrives at the intersection of aesthetics and diplomacy, law, mediation, partnerships, brand strategy, UI, UX, interior or fashion design, talent relations, and policy. You carry the rare gift of blending taste with tact. Where others argue, you negotiate. Where others polarize, you find common ground. Where others overcomplicate, you present with clarity and style. In law and mediation, your natural ability to weigh both sides, to hold contradictions without losing patience, makes you the peacemaker who can turn adversaries into partners. In partnerships and business development, you're the bridge builder, the one who sees the win-win deal when everyone else is stuck in zero-sum thinking. In brand strategy and design, your Venus-ruled eye ensures the message doesn't just work, it looks irresistible. In talent relations and policy, you balance human needs with organizational goals, harmonizing priorities that often seem impossible to reconcile. Your pitfall is decision indecision and conflict avoidance. You see so many possibilities, so many perspectives, that paralysis can creep in. Choices feel heavy because you don't want to close doors or upset harmony. In high-stakes environments, hesitation can cost you influence, and avoiding conflict can create bigger conflicts later. The antidote is structure. Flip indecision into process by using frameworks. A pros and cons list to clarify trade-offs, weighted scoring to prioritize criteria, and hard deadlines that force momentum. Harmony isn't the goal, aligned outcomes are. When you replace keeping everyone happy with choosing the option that serves the long-term goal, you gain respect and impact. Your best moves: build coalitions, craft win-wins, and present with polish. Coalition building is your natural mode. You know how to connect the right people, spot complementarities, and create alliances that multiply strength. You don't just close deals, you build ecosystems. Your win-win instinct is more than kindness, it's strategy. When you design agreements that feel fair, people stay loyal. Presenting with polish is your secret weapon. You instinctively know that delivery shapes perception. Your slides are elegant, your tone balanced, your timing graceful. You can sell an idea not just because it's right, but because it feels right. In the room where deals get made, people trust you. Not because you're the loudest, but because you're the fairest. Your ability to listen without judgment, to articulate both sides, and to suggest solutions with elegance makes you indispensable. You become the person executives call in to diffuse tension, the negotiator brought in to close the gap, the strategist trusted to give the balanced perspective. You elevate the room without dominating it, and that's rare power. Your career potential expands when you see charm not as superficial but as structural. Charm buys you trust, trust buys you leverage, and leverage, when used wisely, builds careers that endure. Scorpio, October 23rd to November 21st. What happens when focus meets depth? Scorpio happens. You're built for investigation, transformation, and handling what others avoid. Psychology, cybersecurity, research, finance, crisis management, surgery, forensics, strategy consulting, and high-stakes negotiations. Scorpio's career potential lies in your fearlessness around complexity. You don't skim the surface, you dive. You don't just ask what, you demand why, and you won't stop until the answer is found. In psychology and therapy, you reach into people's shadows with compassion, helping them rebuild from their pain. In cybersecurity and forensics, your obsessive attention to detail catches what others miss, tiny anomalies that unlock entire cases. In finance and strategy consulting, you dissect systems until the hidden levers of power reveal themselves. In crisis management, you're the calm at the center of the storm, the strategist who sees through chaos and plots a path out. In surgery, your precision under pressure saves lives when stakes are highest. But your intensity can intimidate. You feel deeply, think profoundly, and carry secrets like locked safes. To some, that depth is magnetic. To others, it's overwhelming. Your instinct is to protect your power by holding cards close, but in the workplace, secrecy can breed mistrust. The remedy is subtle. Share process, not secrets. You don't have to reveal everything. Just let people into your why. When colleagues understand the reasoning behind your choices, they stop guessing your motives and start aligning with your vision. Transparency doesn't weaken your edge, it sharpens your influence. Take roles that reward discretion and resilience. You thrive where others burn out, jobs with high stakes, long horizons, and deep transformations. Investigations that span months. Negotiations where millions hinge on a single clause. Projects where failure is not an option. Your capacity to endure intensity without breaking is a rare asset. You're not just good in a storm, you're the person who steers the ship through it and rebuilds the hull afterward. Scorpio's career power is transformation. You don't just solve problems, you change systems. You take broken models and reinvent them. You take faltering organizations and strip them down to their essence, rebuilding them stronger. You take your own setbacks and rise from them tougher, smarter, more unshakable. Your reputation becomes not just competence, but resilience, the one who cannot be rattled, the one who turns crisis into rebirth. At your best, Scorpio, you prove that focus plus depth isn't just intensity, it's mastery. You are the strategist, the investigator, the healer, the negotiator, the crisis architect. Your edge isn't loud, it's unshakable. In a noisy world, your silence carries weight. In a chaotic world, your depth creates clarity. In a fragile world, your resilience is gold. Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st. Is freedom a perk or a requirement? For you, it's the path. Sagittarius is the explorer of the zodiac, the restless spirit who needs horizons as much as others need air. Your career potential expands wherever curiosity, movement, and vision intersect. You are the one who asks, "What's next?" when others are content with, "What is?" That drive to stretch beyond boundaries makes you ideal for roles tied to discovery, expansion, and connection. Travel isn't a luxury for you, it's a laboratory. Education isn't just knowledge, it's a vehicle for truth-seeking. Publishing is your stage to share ideas. Global strategy lets you stretch across borders, cultures, and industries. Sales territories appeal because they reward exploration. Evangelism roles fit because you're built to inspire. Adventure media feels like breathing because risk and storytelling fuse into meaning. And anything mission-driven, anything that demands belief bigger than the paycheck, resonates with your fire. Your optimism is your secret weapon. When others see problems, you see potential. When teams feel stuck, you lift their eyes to a higher horizon. You have the ability to enroll people in a vision with enthusiasm so contagious that resistance softens. You thrive on big ideas, audacious goals, and sweeping narratives that connect dots most people don't even notice. This is why Sagittarius often excels as visionary leaders, thought leaders, keynote speakers, or international project heads. Your gift is making possibility feel inevitable. But here lies the weak spot: restlessness and overselling without follow-through. You are fueled by novelty, and when the adventure fades, so does your focus. That can leave you with unfinished projects, half-built systems, or grand promises that never materialize. Overselling comes from your enthusiasm. It's genuine, but if not anchored by execution, it risks eroding trust. The danger isn't dreaming too big, it's leaving dreams stranded. The solution begins with honest scopes. Before you launch the next big initiative, define what you can realistically deliver. Write down timelines, constraints, and what "done" looks like. Then set clear KPIs. These aren't boxes to limit you, they're checkpoints to channel your fire into measurable progress. Find a reliable ops partner, someone detail-oriented who thrives on structure. Pairing your vision with their systems creates a powerhouse dynamic. You sketch the map, they pave the road. Use your optimism wisely, not just to inspire but to commit. When you pitch a bold new idea, back it with a timeline. When you enroll people in a vision, show them the steps. When you dream, also draft. This doesn't dim your fire, it directs it. Your career doesn't scale on charisma alone. It scales when your big ideas land as real programs, not just great slides. At your highest expression, Sagittarius isn't just the wanderer, it's the guide. You don't just travel the world, you connect it. You don't just study philosophy, you teach it. You don't just start adventures, you finish quests. Your freedom becomes not just personal indulgence but a gift to others. A reminder that work can be mission, that growth is infinite, and that every horizon leads to another. Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th. Ambition or legacy? Why not both? Capricorn is the architect of long games, the strategist who doesn't just climb mountains but builds ladders for others to climb too. Your career potential is rooted in discipline, endurance, and an almost uncanny ability to see the structure beneath chaos. Where others get overwhelmed, you break things into steps. Where others seek shortcuts, you invest in systems. Where others chase applause, you build achievements that speak decades later. Finance and law appeal to your respect for rules and long-term payoff. Engineering suits your methodical mind and patience for complex builds. Operations leadership is second nature. You understand processes as living systems and can refine them until they run like clockwork. Politics and policy resonate because you know how to play long, strategic games where timing matters as much as talent. Enterprise sales rewards your persistence and ability to nurture deals over years, not weeks. Entrepreneurship feels natural when you can blend vision with structure, designing businesses that outlast trends. The risk is overwork and delayed joy. You have the discipline to grind, to climb, to sacrifice, but sometimes at the cost of your own life balance. You tell yourself, "I'll celebrate later," but later keeps moving. The danger is reaching the top of the mountain only to realize you forgot to breathe on the way up. Your ambition is admirable, but unchecked, it can consume your well-being. The strategy? Set celebration checkpoints. Don't wait until the decade-long plan concludes. Mark progress every quarter, every milestone. Reward yourself not as a distraction, but as fuel. Delegate early. You don't need to carry every stone alone. Build systems and trust people to run them. Treat your calendar like a capital allocation plan. Time is your most valuable resource. Invest it where returns compound, cut where returns are low, and protect it from waste. Mentorship is your growth multiplier. Build mentors above you who've already climbed higher peaks. They'll shorten your path and sharpen your moves. Build protégés below you who learn from your structure and discipline. They'll extend your influence and multiply your impact. In doing so, you create a legacy, not just a resume. Your brand is reliability under pressure and results over time. You're the one who doesn't fold in crisis, who shows up prepared, who delivers even when conditions are brutal. If anyone is getting the 401k match, the promotion, and the corner office, it's you, not because you're lucky, but because you keep climbing deliberately. You plan the route, pack the gear, pace the climb, and never stop until you've reached the summit. At your highest potential, Capricorn is proof that ambition isn't greedy, it's generative. You show that success isn't luck, but systems. You remind everyone that legacies aren't accidents, they're built one disciplined step at a time. You are the mountain goat, steady, relentless, and wise enough to know that the climb is the point, but so is the view along the way. Aquarius, January 20th to February 18th. Are you here to fit in or to upgrade the system? Aquarius is innovation with a conscience, the visionary who sees the cracks in today's world and imagines tomorrow's blueprint. Your career potential doesn't sit inside cubicle walls, it expands in every place where disruption meets progress. You thrive in tech because you see technology not as cold code but as tools to liberate. RD excites you because research is where new rules are written. Social impact is natural because you can't separate innovation from ethics. Policy reform calls to you because systems aren't sacred, they're scaffolds to be redesigned. Community platforms feel right because collective intelligence is your language. Data science suits you because patterns are the invisible threads connecting society. Future of work roles inspire you because you are always 20 steps ahead, picturing how humanity can work smarter, fairer, freer. Your strength is being a rebel with purpose. Many disruptors break things for the thrill. You break things because they no longer serve. You have the rare ability to connect big ideas with social conscience, to imagine technology that uplifts rather than exploits, to design policies that expand access rather than gatekeep. You're not afraid to stand apart, to question authority, to defy norms, because your eyes are fixed on progress that outlives the present moment. In boardrooms and brainstorms, you are the person asking, "Why are we still doing it this way?" And though people may resist at first, they know your questions are the doorway to breakthroughs. But here's the pitfall: detachment from execution and idea hopping. Your mind moves fast, sparking new concepts before the last one is even halfway baked. You can float above the trenches, preferring big picture ideation to the gritty work of shipping. This risks leaving your brilliance as talk rather than transformation. People may admire your intelligence but doubt your reliability if too many ideas stay in the ether. The counter is simple but essential. Pair with operators and ship minimal viable changes fast. Don't wait for perfect revolutions. Deliver prototypes, pilot programs, MVPs. That's how your radical visions gain traction. You don't need to personally manage every detail. You just need to collaborate with people who thrive in operations. They ground your genius. Together, you're unstoppable. Use your network instincts. Aquarius is the sign of community, of collectives, of crowdsourcing intelligence. You know instinctively how to rally people around a cause, how to turn scattered individuals into movements, how to use platforms to amplify voices. Open source solutions are your playground, because you understand that innovation isn't hoarded, it's shared. When you unite communities around a mission, your ideas gain momentum that no single individual could create. You're most powerful when your rebellious streak rebuilds, not just rebels. Breaking systems is easy. Designing better ones is mastery. You are here not to burn the world down but to upgrade it. Change is your deliverable. Make sure it ships. The world doesn't just need your theories, it needs your prototypes, your reforms, your platforms, your structures. When you ground your vision with action, your career becomes more than a ladder, it becomes a legacy. Pisces, February 19th to March 20th. Can sensitivity be a strategy? For you, it's a competitive advantage. Pisces is the empath, the dreamer, the creator whose career potential blooms where imagination and compassion intertwine. You excel in creative arts because your sensitivity translates into beauty others can see and feel. Music, film, and design aren't hobbies, they are languages through which you express what words can't capture. Healing professions call to you because your intuition senses pain others hide. Therapy and spiritual work are natural because you see souls, not just surfaces. Compassionate customer roles suit you because you treat every interaction as human, not transactional. Immersive experiences, gaming, VR, sound design, fit perfectly because you naturally build worlds that others can lose themselves in. Your intuition is your compass. You pick up signals most people miss. Tone shifts, subtle cues, the undercurrents beneath conversations. In careers, this becomes a secret advantage. In design, you create interfaces that just feel right. In film or music, you capture moods that audiences can't explain but instantly recognize. In healing or therapy, you anticipate needs before they're spoken. In business, you sense trends not yet visible in the data. You live at the intersection of logic and the invisible, and that is rare power. But here's the risk: blurred boundaries and inconsistent structure. Your empathy can overwhelm you, making you absorb others' emotions until you burn out. Your creative flow is tidal, and without discipline, you may drift into procrastination, inconsistency, or projects that never crystallize. People may mistake your fluidity for lack of seriousness, not realizing that your creativity needs both freedom and anchors. The fix lies in rituals. Time blocking creates islands of focus in your ocean of imagination. Accountability buddies help you ground your visions in commitments. Clear office hours for your energy protect you from overgiving. When you create structure, you don't cage your flow, you channel it. Boundaries don't kill your magic, they preserve it. Your greatest gift is that your intuition spots what data misses. While algorithms crunch numbers, you perceive human truth. You know what will resonate, what will heal, what will inspire. When you design, you're not just making products, you're creating experiences people feel in their bones. When you write, paint, perform, or innovate, your work bypasses the mind and lands directly in the heart. When you protect your focus, your work becomes magic and your career becomes sustainable. You stop being the artist who could have been and become the professional who delivers masterpieces consistently. You stop being the healer who drains themselves and become the healer who transforms lives while thriving. Pisces' highest career path is not escaping reality, it's reshaping it with imagination, compassion, and intuition. At your best, Pisces, you show the world that sensitivity is not weakness, it's strategy. You remind everyone that the future is not just built, it is felt. And those who can feel it first are the ones who shape it. Now, how do you use this without boxing yourself in? 3 quick moves. Astrology isn't about locking yourself into a script, it's about unlocking perspective. Think of your zodiac sign as a lens, not a cage. The point isn't to say, I'm destined for this one job, but rather, I understand my natural strengths, my blind spots, and how to work with them. The magic is in translation, moving from archetype to action. When you say, I'm a Scorpio, it's interesting, but when you frame it as, I lead sensitive projects with discretion and deliver under pressure, it becomes power. Suddenly, your identity is a value statement that anyone, boss, client, investor, can recognize. Translate strengths into outcomes, because outcomes are what open doors. A Leo isn't just dramatic, they're captivating leaders who can command attention in a pitch. A Virgo isn't just meticulous, they're quality control masters who catch errors before they cost millions. Aries isn't just impulsive, they're first movers who seize opportunities before competitors even notice. It's about turning the poetry of the zodiac into the prose of your resume. Build complementary teams. Careers aren't solo adventures, they're collaborations. And when you know your archetype, you can spot the allies who fill your gaps and amplify your strengths. Gemini plus Virgo? That's ideas plus execution. Brainstorming brilliance paired with detail-driven delivery. Aries plus Taurus? The fiery starter paired with the steady builder. Launch plus sustain, speed plus staying power. Libra plus Capricorn? Diplomacy woven with long-term strategy, charm at the table, structure behind the scenes. By intentionally pairing energies, you build teams that don't just function, they flourish. Knowing your zodiac style helps you see not just who you are, but who you need beside you. Track your wins. Your zodiac points to style, your portfolio proves results. It's not enough to say, I'm a Sagittarius, I think big. You need the receipts. The initiatives launched, the sales territories expanded, the educational programs built. Pisces can say, I'm intuitive and creative, but it becomes undeniable when their portfolio shows award-winning design or a music score that moved millions. Capricorn can claim they're ambitious, but the legacy becomes real when the promotions, completed projects, and impact metrics stack up. Astrology helps you narrate your strengths, but documentation turns narrative into proof. Collect emails of thanks, screenshots of KPIs, testimonials from clients, before and after case studies. These artifacts are not just memory, they're leverage. So what's your next step? Pick one action this week. Don't wait for stars to align, move. Pitch the project you've been holding back on. Showcase the portfolio that's gathering dust in your hard drive. Set the boundary that keeps you from burnout. Ask for the raise you've already earned. Design the system that frees you for bigger work. Each of these is not just a task, it's a declaration that you're actively shaping your career. Your sign explains your edge, your habits cash it in. If this helped you see your career through a sharper lens, hit like, subscribe for more deep dives, and drop your sign and dream role in the comments. I'll reply with one tailored tip. And hey, check the description for more resources and my socials. Your potential isn't a horoscope, it's a plan. Let's make it real.